Hello, 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 and welcome back to the 10-day Creative Lead Blitz Challenge, where we are looking to get you out of your own way, take on some more clients, and indeed make more money. Woo! Now, hopefully, if you've made it to this video so far, you've got your mindset in check, you're all geared for success, you've overcome some of the fears and the worries, you've challenged yourself to do some really cool things that you thought you would not do before, sort of in terms of reaching out to different ones and asking for their support. You have written your own ebook marketing post telling everyone that it is coming, or made some kind of other amazing offer around a free resource of some sort, if you happen to be, like one of these amazing resource rich people. Now you are ready for this next lesson where we're going to actually offer to work with people. It is going to be so cool. It's going to be so exciting. So let's jump straight in. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to take you to the workbook type setup that you're now hopefully very used to. Okay. So our next, as you know, we've been doing 3 strategic posts for Facebook. So we've had our first one out, and hopefully if you did get to look at any of the social media tips, you will have seen the traction that that's gained. We're going to go into a little bit more detail about that on this one. Now, this is about an amazing offer. So we're going to be doing a huge giveaway that everyone is just going to put their hands up for, is going to be super excited for. So remember, we create the demand, we create the supply. So we're not going to be kind of looking at all of the ins and the outs exactly of your offer. Excuse me, Alexa is just joining in there with us. She's excited for you all as well. Now, we're going to be getting the messaging right. So it's going to be a short, sharp, succinct post that's hopefully going to bring you massive clarity around what you'd like to cover in your offer. Now, I want to say at this point, right, it's actually really difficult to even get people putting their hands up for free stuff. So you do have to get the framing right. You have to get the messaging right. And this is why we're doing this, is because if you can't even get people signing up for free stuff, then it means that something is off. And this is a really good way, a very easy, quick, very efficient way of finding out whether your message is really on point, and whether it's speaking to people's heart, whether you've got the market right, etc., etc. So it covers so many different variables all in one go, and it's very powerful indeed. Now, let's just get the mindset right now. Let's get ourselves in the right frame of mind. As you know, I specialize a lot in mindset. We have that creativity which you bring, and then we've got the strategy itself. Now, you probably heard it enough by now. I harp on about it throughout the calls. The strategy is no good if you haven't got the right mindset. So whatever your opinions are on doing voluntary and pro bono work, let's come to peace with it. This is something that's super exciting, and we're building a great, a great buzz. Now, the gurus and the experts all argue about whether you should or you shouldn't do it. And there's a lot of conflicting information out there about how it equates to perceived value, and that, people say it can cheapen and corrupt the industry that you're working in, can be super detrimental to your self-esteem and of course your bank balance, right? So we're not talking about, we're not talking about giving away things because we don't value the service. We're talking about doing a massive giveaway because we do hugely value the service, and we're being super generous. And as I said, we're creating this big buzz and this big excitement around it. I do agree, right? There is, if you do get that framing wrong and you've got some underlying issues going on around your self-worth, you know, maybe you've got some stuff going on in the past where it hasn't worked and you've ended up getting yourself in a bit of a cycle of masochistic volunteering, where one free thing's led on to another free thing, led on to another thing, and suddenly you've gone 12 months and you haven't earned anything. That's very, very different, and I would suggest that you really look at your mindset around that. But this particular strategy is something that I've gained from my own coach, Richmond Din, who I've spoken to and credited a lot of the work for this challenge around. He got it from Jay Abraham himself. Google him. He's, you know, practically considered a marketing god. And it's been proven amongst, like, literally millions of people who have done this challenge now. I'm not the first person. I haven't created this challenge. I've been through it. I've seen the success it's brought me. I've taught my own clients. I've seen the success it's brought them. And now I'm teaching it on this digital format because I love it so much, and I'm a big pioneer of it, a big advocate of it. So there's a couple of book recommendations I've given you if there's an issue. Kind of this aspect of generosity and free and pro bono, etc. If I'm going to be totally honest and blunt about it, I'm just going to be like, get over yourself, love. Just get over yourself. I think what's really cool about this is that A, the challenge gives you a chance to do that, but B, it gives you a chance to really think about how you can offer immense impact for very low input. So we're going for high impact and low input. And it really challenges you to think about how much your products and your services are worth, and how you can be really clever and really innovative and really unique about bringing huge amounts of value without spending lots of time, and, you know, and it really making a big dent into your productivity and your time and everything else. There's another book recommendation here called Arts and Numbers. It's by Elaine Gershel, and it's really cool. I'd highly recommend it for creatives in particular, as it changed my life. Okay, so if you're happy to trust me that the pro bono strategy is the way to go, let's talk about some of the benefits now. So, benefit number one is that you're going to generate an absolute ton of interested potential clients that would not ordinarily present themselves to you if money is an issue, right? Like, if it just completely removes money from the equation. And honestly, it's so fascinating to see who comes out of the woodwork when you remove that barrier. It also removes some kind of psychological barrier for yourself, because, again, if you've got your own money mindset issues and you've got an issue getting out there and presenting your offer to the world, it removes that. It's so much easier, obviously, to offer something for free than it is to go, hey, come and pay £1 million for my service. So that's manifold there. Then you can get a heap of testimonials. This is the reason, one of the main reasons we're doing this, is get a heap of testimonials that give you social proof. And this is one of the most important factors when people are working with you. So, social proof is everything. And because you've got loads of people putting their hands up and saying, yes, please, oh, this sounds exciting, people follow like sheep, and suddenly your awareness of your product and the pride of place of your product, you know, the positioning goes way higher. Let me just have some of my drink. Okay, now this work can lead to some amazing paying referrals that will pay for your initial time. And depending on how you get it, how well you do at it and how seriously you take it, it can lead to instant cash as well, because the way it's positioned is we're only going to have a certain number, and once you've number, then it will lead to more paid work instantly, because as you know, you can only offer so much. Now, the big bit that a lot of people miss when we're talking about pro bonos and generosity and getting your foot in the door, etc., is that people do not understand the re-sign value of their clients. So one of my clients, for example, has been working with me for like 7 or 8 years, and on and off, she's not been working with me consistently all that time. But if I were to add up the amount of money that she spent with me, it's probably about 6 or 7K over those 7, 8 years. And she's seen a huge return on that investment. And I think originally she came to a free event that we put on. We put all of the snacks and all the nibbles on, and it cost us quite a bit of money in, you know, in photography and hiring the hall, etc. But even that one lady that stuck with me all this time, you know, is more than paid for the whole year's worth of events and promo. I think a lot of people forget about that re-sign value. They're just stuck in that kind of short-term phase. I have mentioned over the last couple of lessons, but if somehow you've managed to jump on this video and haven't been paying attention, I am heavily pregnant, so please do excuse my breathlessness and my need to keep drinking. Not get too excited as baby's pushing down on my lungs. All right, so we're going to talk about the short-term cash flow in a bit when we talk about packaging. And it's highly effective as a long-term strategy as the result from your initial input compound. Now, this is something that's maybe quite advanced. It does work as a short-term strategy because you're getting a lot of short-term interest and a big buzz in a really nice, compact amount of time. But the idea more behind this pro bono strategy is that it has manifold long-term benefits, and that when you start to build on the buzz and the momentum and the leads that you're gaining, it kind of grows monumentally in a compound manner. I think a lot of people in business miss that. Now, one final thing, and kind of the mindset, just to give you a bit of an analogy and to give you a point of comparison, is that a lot of big businesses do this, right? They're not going, oh dear, I'm worrying about my self-worth. What will people think of me if I do a big giveaway? No, Netflix, if you remember, Netflix used to be Love Film, and they sent out millions. They spent millions on this, sending out free monthly trials. And I'm not sure if you remember, or if you're old enough or too young or whatever, too old, but they gave you these little gift vouchers and you signed up for the first 3 months, and then they hoped that you continued. It was such a powerful strategy. Look how massive they are now. Ice cream shops give out free samples on the street. And if you look what I put in brackets, I'm like, I wish they did this more. Who doesn't like free ice cream? Because they want you to get a little secret sample of their goodness and their tastiness and their deliciousness, and they hope that you go into the shop and you buy it. I'm doing the same with this free challenge. I'm giving you immense amounts of value. I hope you agree, because I'm very openly and very honestly thinking, do you know what? I believe in my service. And I believe in you too, and I believe we can get really great results together. And so I'm hoping that you've had a tiny snippet of my secret sauce and that you want some more. There's no, there's no, like, you must, right? These people giving you the samples on the street, they know some people will buy it, literally, and others won't. And that's part of the game. It's part of the thrill and it's part of the buzz. So yeah, don't get your knickers in a twist. That's going to be like one of the catchphrases, isn't it, of this whole challenge. So we want rave reviews. Amazon sellers, they're one of the biggest advocates of this. You get tons and tons and tons rave reviews, and it is a very commonly accepted practice. So I hope that clarifies some of it. In terms of entrepreneurial practice, yeah, of course there's risk and rewards. And do you want to see a return on your investment? Yes. And this is exactly what it is. It's giving something away, investing your time, and hoping that you will see a return on that investment in the form of cash, social proof, relationship building, reputation, referrals, all sorts of awesome stuff. And just to recap, right, we've got that mix of that short term. I'm going to show you how we're going to get the best of this in the worksheet, and then the long term. All right, so let's click on the worksheet that you get with it, and let's move on to the tasks for this lesson. Oh, so I've got that there already. So let's get going. Creative Leads Challenge. All right. As you know by now, please do copy the post. Make a copy of this document. Now, I've got a template for you. It's a giveaway social media template for you, and you're literally going to copy and paste it. Your tasks are that once we're going to go through this template in a second, but once you've done it, you're going to post it at 8 p.m. On Facebook and on your chosen platforms, and follow the guidelines. So I am going to go into these guidelines a little bit more now. You've got your first big post out of the way, so you now are like, you're bossing it. So now we need to get, we've gone from good to excellent and amazing, really having that spirit of success and excellence. Move straight on to the next lesson and start engaging with all the interested people. So once you've got the post out there, then there's a certain way that we're going to need to be engaging with different people, and there's a whole lesson on that. So just move on straight to that once you've done it. Now we're going to post this everywhere that you have permission to do so. Obviously, we don't want you getting arrested for putting big banners on bridges and stuff, but everywhere you have permission to do so. So all of your social media platforms, even the ones you're not currently active on. At the time, I didn't really use LinkedIn much, but I thought, there's nothing to lose. And I've had a client sign from it, and I'm so glad I did, because I didn't think they were. So you've literally got nothing to lose. Yeah, post it everywhere. I want to share a personal example from me here. The first time I did the challenge, I could see a lot of people that were going all out, and they clearly just, they just didn't give a damn. They did give a damn, but they gave a damn about the right things, right? So they weren't interested in what other people thought of them. They were passionate, and they were driven, and they were committed to their dream and their desire, and they knew their worth and the immense value that they'd got. I got in my own way a little bit, and I posted it on Facebook, put it on like my story, and then I put it on LinkedIn. I didn't really do anything else. I didn't put it into my list. I didn't send it to WhatsApp. I didn't, even the groups that I'm active in, and I knew it would have been well received, didn't do that. And I think the more you do, the more your horizons open. The second time I ran it, I was like, right, I'm going to go all out. And then suddenly I thought I'd gone all out. And then afterwards I was like, oh, why didn't I share it here? And why didn't I share it there? So when you're looking at other people, and it's not always helpful to compare, but sometimes it is, because you can take real inspiration from them. When you're looking at other people and their results and their success, don't beat yourself up, but do be inspired by them and learn from them and from each other. Okay. So everywhere means everywhere. I mean everywhere. Also, message your network. So the people that you initially engaged with on Messenger, go back to them and say to them, hey, this post's here. Now, the people that have said that are going to support you, they are in it. They will do exactly that. So you don't need to go through some kind of big hurdle to get them to support you. when they've already agreed to it. The reason they won't necessarily have jumped on automatically is because everyone is on Facebook at that time, and there's a lot of competition. So people genuinely won't have seen it. And sometimes, right, I'll message someone and say, hey, can you jump on this post? And like literally 3 weeks later, they'll jump on and be like, oh, this is great. That's cool, because it then brings it back to the top. Everyone's got their own stuff going on, so don't take anything personally. You can do postcard posts on your stories. Yes, do postcard posts. They are fantastic. If you don't know what they are, they're the ones that Facebook has designed yourself. LinkedIn doesn't really have that facility. But they've got, you know, other bits that you can look at and explore. If you're posting in groups, do make sure you've got permission to do so. And they'll have different rules around that, right? Some groups have just got it free, open, you can plaster. You can only post on a certain day, and that's cool. You can just check for the threads. There'll probably be in the rules about what days you can post on and what days you can't. Others, usually the bigger the group, the tighter the rules are. But if you've got a smaller group, and you can message the administrator and say, hey, look, I'm relaunching in a big way. I'm really excited and I'm putting myself out there. Just send them an open, honest message saying, and I'm looking to give away some really generous, put out a really generous offer. Would it be okay to share? Then you can put in the group, thanks to Sophie for allowing me to post this and tag her. And that gives you a lot of kudos that you followed. You know, we're not looking to overstep any boundaries. We're not, you know, we're doing things the right way. We're not just spamming willy-nilly. All right. And another good point for where is if you're in any forums, they're really good places, or if you're part of any newsletters, industry newsletters, etc., get all of your friends to share too. Let's get into the template. It'll be my £10,000 giveaway. And then it says, as you may or may not know, as people should be, absolutely should know, right? Because you've been harping on about it the last couple of days. But as you may or may not know, over the last X years, I have been, and then you say, helping people to, right, me, get out their own way, to get more clients, make more money in the creative industry, and insert any other credentials about resources and qualifications, etc. And I have personally invested over 11K in my own personal development, and have recently released my first ebook on how to create a thriving creative business. As a celebration of this milestone, I've created, and then you insert the program or project name. So I've just created an amazing group program that helps too. I'm looking for 3 people to invest 6 weeks of my own time and X amount of my own money to help people too, and then whatever it is that you help people to do. So if you run a catering company, to help people have amazing, wonderful events that everyone is raving about the food for life. If you run a creative design company that everyone's going to be super excited when they see your new logo, whatever. Yes, I think you get the point. Now, max 3 people, details to come. Who wants in? Now, you must get these emojis there. And then you can be a bit creative about it later when you're down the line. Now, this is a screenshot of my post. And you can see, right, so this is the first time I did it. And I didn't, as I said, I didn't really go all out. I was a bit wary, and I'm not trusting of the process. But I still managed to get 58 comments and 9 shares. I don't think that's bad going. And then that's the end. That's the end of the worksheet, because the focus is on you doing it, getting it done. So let's recap, shall we? Let's let's just go through everything that you need to do. It's actually quite a simple task. Oh, And so I was going to go through the notes on social media sharing. So let's share again. Window. It's quite important that you get this right. It really does make a massive difference to the algorithm. I know we were speaking about the algorithm before. So you've got the link there when you scroll back up into the workshop, and it's also on the initial page. Is it going to let me? Oh, apparently there is no link there. So that's good that I've just found that little bug. Notes for social media posting. It is on your worksheet. So let's just wait for that to load. Facebook loves, and LinkedIn, anything that's created itself, it really loves. So there is an art to, as it's just loading, there is an art to posting on social media. Your posts must have the feeling at the top. So if you have a look at, let's see if I've got it on this one. So it's good to know, isn't it, when you followed all your own rules or not. So, look, I've been spotted. I do not have here at the top feeling excited or feeling positive or whatever the feelings are. I've just gone straight in. But in an ideal world, I'd have feeling excited at the top. Then a relevant picture, preferably of you or something really wonderful and awesome. You can get away with quote graphics. Sometimes you can get away with GIFs. Or something really random and triggering, but something that's going to catch people's eyes are going down and scrolling down the post. Do pay attention to the spacing. So if you have a little look, right? I've not really done this super well. They're quite long paragraphs, and most people now like these short, sharp, sweet sentences. So I could have broken that down into a little bit more space. Do tag anyone that has expressed interest in previous posts. As I said, there's so much competition on your social media profile, and people aren't going to see it. So they might have liked one thing, and then they'll genuinely be interested in what you've got to offer next. But if you don't tag them, they're not going to know, quite frankly. So just tag them in the comments, not in the post itself, just in the comments. And you can put a nice little note, right? Depending on, it's not nice to be tagged amongst hundreds of different people, but people that are genuinely interested and you think might want to go for it, just tag them. Again, we're not spamming people, we're genuinely tagging people that might want to come along. Share the link directly to the messenger and ask anyone that has said that will help you to jump on it, right? So that's why actually you can share some, because you share straight to the messenger, or you can literally just copy the link and post it and say, hey, would you mind just jumping on this for me? It does make a difference. If you'll remember, I harped on about comments are currency. We need to get people commenting on your posts. And one really cool trick, right? Like when you look at the 53 comments that I've got and you look at some of the hundreds of other comments that other people have got, is when people respond to you, you can respond back and you can ask them a question, and then you get a bit of conversation going on within the post. So keynotes about, so there's loads of stuff here about how you best engage in Meta, the mindset issues around it, which we've covered a lot. And then before every single post, this is the bit I want you to pay particular attention to. So before you post tonight or tomorrow at the absolute latest, before you post your post, you're going to spend half an hour engaging with everyone on your social media feed. So this is the posts that come up on your social media feed. They're the ones that Facebook thinks you're going to be interested in and has pushed it to you, and you respond and you play with what they like, right? The LinkedIn is the same. It gives you things that it wants you to engage with, so engage with it. Sponsored ads don't count and groups don't count. Groups, you can, it works if you're posting in that group, but not for stuff that's coming up on your page. So whatever pops up, like and comment. It doesn't need to be like a big, long, you know, F off post, if you'll excuse the expression. But just, oh yeah, this looks awesome. Or congrats, or a little GIF or some emojis. Show some love. It's encouraging the law of reciprocity, which may or may not have heard that's give before you get. And it's mainly about priming the Facebook algorithm so that people see your posts. Now, this in itself is worth so much cash, so much money, and it's going to save you so much time. Because by doing this alone, you need so much more interaction, and that's going to build your self-esteem, and then that's going to, you know, like, it's going to blow up. People are going to be jumping on your offers, and it's going to be awesome. But the main reason that people will then respond more is because you're engaging with people that are already on the platform. So obviously, if they've posted something and you've liked and commented on it, they're still going to be hanging around, and they're more likely to see something that goes out and they'll respond immediately to it because they've just seen something that you've seen. If you don't do that, you don't know who's online, and so you're not going to capture that kind of core time. Facebook in particular is really strict around getting like a massive amount of engagement in that first hour. It will blast it to everyone. LinkedIn gives you a little bit more time. It's more like 24 hours. And then if you haven't managed to get like much engagement by then, it kind of kills it. Right, and then after every post, so once you've posted it, hang around for half an hour, carry on engaging on social media and people that are commenting. And then as soon as someone comments, you comment back and engage with them and say, oh, thanks. You do need, like, when you're commenting, make the comments like interesting. So don't just put thanks. Use a mix of emojis, longer responses. What did you think about that, etc., etc. Make it exciting, and it becomes a bit of a buzz because people start engaging with you, and you can kind of get into gift wars and stuff as well. It can be really fun, and this is something I want you to take away with you: is that social media can be fun, it can be exciting, it can be rewarding. Rather than, you know, I wasn't a big fan of social media before, to be honest. I'm still not, but I do have these lovely moments and these great interactions and an awesome time where I see the results and the benefits, and I know it's worth it. It brings it all home, particularly when you're taking on loads of fab clients as a result. Right, now this is the last bit that's important. After half an hour, move on with your life, and then maybe check in a couple of hours before you go to bed, and then go to sleep, check in the morning. Because if you spend hours and hours, it then just thinks you're spamming and you haven't got a life. And B, it can drive you crazy. You have to put a lid on it. You have to have boundaries, and you have to show some kind of restraint, right? We are not basing any comments that we get, you know, that's not contributing towards our value and our self-worth in any way. And it's just a Facebook exercise, and then let's not make it into something it's not. And then I've just given you, weirdly, right, there's a little story that because people follow like sheep. My birthday was in September, and someone commented back like in December, and then it brought it back up to the algorithm, like it boosted it back up to the top of the page. And then loads of people started wishing me happy birthday again in December, even though it was like 3 months later. So people will follow suit. All right. So we've been through there. Do look through those tips. Those tips in itself are going to massively increase the benefit, increase your output for the input that you're putting in on social media. So to recap, get the post out there, follow the social media notes, post it at 8 p.m, jump on, tag me in stuff, tag anyone else that you know is doing the challenge, tag all your friends, get a bit of a buzz going. And then when people have started to respond, you don't need to put the exact responses now. Anyone that says, oh yes please, me or volunteers, you can say, I'll just send you a quick messenger, and then away you go, or I'll hook you up, or yep, you got it, etc. And then the next video is going to tell you what to do with all these new leads you've got coming in. Love you. Enjoy. Have fun.